I'm doing a lot, but if any one person uses this, then it's worth my time and effort to do this. Now alright, it is one thing to do something, and it's a totally different thing trying to explain it. Now when you go to alternate fingerings, get it up here and where you can see alternate fingering, it's going to change. Now I've done it so much it's just natural and I don't have a problem with it. This is where it's going to confuse you, because to do shorthand, you have, if you do really shorthand, then for like writing, you have to learn symbols and all this other stuff that you don't normally use. So in the alternate fingerings, then this is your top of the flute up here. The first hole is 1 and nothing else is covered. The second hole is 2, nothing else is covered except 2. 3, the third hole is covered, nothing else is covered. 4, the fourth hole is covered and nothing else is covered, and this will make sense in a minute. 5, the fifth hole is covered and nothing else is covered, and the sixth, the last hole is covered and nothing is covered. So there's only one hole covered for 1, for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There's only one hole per number. Now the reason for that, when you're doing alternate fingerings, you're going to do things that are completely different from the scale. That's why they call it alternate fingerings. So this is a set of alternate fingerings. Now since there's no indicators, no nothing here, nothing's faster, there's one here that says I'm going to hold that note longer, and the rest of them are just normal speed. Now here again, this is the Native American scale, because there's no line. Since I have a line here and a line there, that tells me that's an alternate fingering, and it's not the normal Native American scale. So 1 hole is covered, 2 holes are covered, 2 holes are covered, 3 holes are covered, but then here on the alternate fingerings, you're going to cover the first hole, the third hole, and the fourth hole. Which, let me play that for you, then I'll show it to you. Alright, to where I can see everything. Now the 1 and the 2 is just first hole, that hole is covered. Now I put a line there, so now I know it's an alternate finger, so it's going to be 1, the third hole is covered, now the fourth hole is covered. Then I go back to finish it, which you'll see it again, is 2 holes covered and then 3 holes covered, and it sounds like this. Which, that's a nice little pattern if you're up on the top of your Native American scale. It's a nice little thing to add. So that's what we just played, and I'll go over it again. I know it's taking way longer than I expected, but first hole is covered, or 1 hole is covered, 2 holes are covered because there's no indicator, there's no line. Here, there's 2 holes covered, 3 holes covered, just like I showed you on the beginning of this video. Now since there's a line there, that indicates to me it's an alternate fingering, which the first hole is covered, the third hole is covered, and the fourth hole is covered only. Alright, if you see, if you play a note and it's just open, then I just put a 0 in my music, and it just stands for open. Now, I know this seems strange, but if you will just start with a Native American scale and then add these later on, then it'll be alright. I think this is what I use to write my songs out. Now in the upper register, and I'm about to run out of film or space, whatever you call it, it's not film anymore. Now in the upper register on my flutes, the third hole right there is always covered, so I don't even count it when I'm doing my writing out. This would be the first hole, this would be the second hole, that would be the third hole in the upper register. Now y'all are going to think I'm nuts and nobody's ever going to do this, but it does work. So since the third hole is always covered, I don't even count it. I know it's there. You see this line right here, that tells me it's in the upper register. So I can come back 2 years from now and I know what I've written, or I know what the song is. So, because in the upper register, I'm not even going to play anything. Different flute makers, same flute maker, different flutes may play the upper register different. You may cover the first hole and third hole, or the first hole and second hole. You may cover the second and the third hole. Down here you can see it's the first, second, and third hole. Top half I don't even count because the third hole is always covered, at least on the flutes I play. And this is strictly in the upper register. Alright, I'm going to run out of film, so I got to stop. And I know a lot of people are not going to like this, but if you will just start, I got to get this done right quick. If you were to start with the Native American scale up here and get that in your head, and then get this to where just that line, well, come on Davis, where this line just indicates a faster note, like bum, 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 and then that note indicates you're going to hold it, because we're not playing to a time, to a metronome. And there's your scale. Go over it right quick. Now your alternate fingerings, they do change, and the reason I know it's alternate fingerings because I have the slash, and that means I'm going to hold the note in the upper register. We just went through that. So anyway, good luck. Here again, please just start with the normal thing, and you can write out one last thing right quick. Now, since you've gone through it now and you are totally confused, you can write out the songs you play, or you can, in a flute circle, the guy plays the song for you, or the lady, and you can read their fingers eventually if you do it enough. Then you can just put down a 1, a 3, a 6, a 4, a 5, a 2, let's go to a 1, 6, and back to a 3. And you've written out, if you can see it, I didn't have it right, you've written out a melody. Now you can play that, and if you don't like it, you can just mark through one note or erase it and